So today we are talking about evaluating trig functions. You guys are going to be able to use the trig functions, the sine, cosine, and tangent, and their reciprocal functions, cosecant, secant, and cotangent, to evaluate trig functions. Yes, there are more than just 3 trig functions out there. There's more than just sine, cosine, and tangent. There's secant, cosecant, and cotangent. So we're actually going to be talking about those 3 today, and then using all 6 to actually evaluate trig functions, okay? Did y'all know there was more than 3? Some y'all did, some y'all didn't. Okay, well, today everyone's going to know. So the other 3 trig ratios, they're still using the same names as in opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse that we were using with sine, cosine, and tangent, okay? But they are known as your reciprocal functions. What does reciprocal mean? Flipped. When you say opposite, I think so many different things. But yes, reciprocal means you basically are flipping, okay? So the ratio that would correspond with sine, its reciprocal function would be what sine is, except flipped, okay? So instead of it being opposite over hypotenuse, it would be hypotenuse over opposite when you're trying to find that respective trig function, okay? Which is what cosecant is. Everybody say cosecant. It is the reciprocal of sine, okay? So if sine is opposite over hypotenuse, then cosecant is hypotenuse over opposite, okay? So when you're doing the ratio of that, then you find out what your hypotenuse is, you divide it by its opposite side, and you have cosecant. Another way to represent this is because since it's the reciprocal of sine, it's the same thing as saying 1 over sine theta, okay? Either way works. So if you know sine, you just do 1 over it, which causes it to flip. So when I look at this particular triangle, what is my hypotenuse in this triangle? 13. And my opposite side is 12. So then the cosecant of theta would be my hypotenuse over my opposite side, which would be 13 over 12. If I asked you to find the sine of theta, wouldn't it be 12 over 13? So then you flip it and you have cosecant, okay? It's just as simple as that. So cosecant goes with sine. Cosecant goes with sine. In other words, it's the reciprocal of sine. So if you know sine, then you can know cosecant. Secant. Everybody say secant. Secant is the reciprocal of cosine. Okay? So where cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, secant would be hypotenuse over adjacent, or 1 over cosine theta. So you find your hypotenuse and your adjacent, and you have secant. What's my hypotenuse in this triangle? 26. What's my adjacent in this triangle? 24. Because remember, you label your sides based off of the angle that's given to you. So then the secant of theta would be 26 over 24, which reduces. If it can reduce, you want to make sure you reduce. What number goes into 26 that also goes into 24? So that becomes what? 13 over 12. So the secant of theta would be 13 over 12. Am I going too fast? So secant goes with cosine. Cosecant goes with sine. Yes, students tend to mix it up. They try to put C with C and S with S. That's not the case. Okay? Secant is the reciprocal of cosine. Cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. All right? And the last one is cotangent, which is going to be the reciprocal of which one? Tangent. It has its name right on in there. So where tangent is the opposite over the adjacent, cotangent is the adjacent over opposite, or 1 over tangent theta. What's my adjacent side here? And my opposite? 15. So then the cotangent of theta would be, very good, which is the reciprocal of tangent, which would have been 15 over 8. As simple as that. Those are the other three trig functions. Cosecant is the reciprocal of which one? Sine. Very good. Don't mix those up. Don't mix those up. I want you guys to do these three problems that are on this sheet, and then we'll trim it up and cut it out and glue it onto our sheet and everything, or into our notebooks. But I want you to find the secant, cosecant, and cotangent of each one of these three triangles here that you see on the sheet that I just handed out. So as we're going over this, do be very careful, okay? If you notice in the last group, the last example, did everybody notice how it said cotangent A and not cotangent B? Okay, gotta be careful. Okay, gotta be careful. So the first one is asking you for the secant, cosecant, and cotangent of angle A. So we can base the sides off of this angle right here. Which one's the opposite? 15. Which one's the adjacent? And 39 is going to be our hypotenuse. So cosecant of angle A is going to be, how'd you get that? You simplified 39 over 15? That does simplify. 3 can go into both of those, so then it turns into 13 over 5, like you said. Secant is going to be what? 13 over 12? Yes, because originally it was 39 over 36. And then cotangent? 12 over 5, because it was originally 36 over 15. Good stuff. Make sure that you reduce. Make sure you reduce. Let's do it based off of B. Which one's the opposite? 12, adjacent, and hypotenuse. Did we have to reduce these fractions? Sure did. So cosecant with the reduced should be what? 5 over 4. Secant with the reduced. And cotangent with the reduced. Very good. I want to label B's sides in purple and A sides in a different color. If I use B, what's the opposite? 21, adjacent. Hypotenuse. So what is the cosecant of B? 29 over 21. Does that reduce? Nope. Secant B. Awesome. And now we need, based off of A, cotangent is what over what in general? So I need my adjacent side. What's my adjacent side to angle A? And my opposite? 20. So this answer should be 21 over 20. How is this? Good? Okay, good stuff. Go ahead and get this glued in. No? Don't get your hopes up. We are not done.